Hey everyone. I'm not talking to myself anymore. Just got something I gotta get off my chest. It's been a couple days now of seeing this news circulate, and I kind of wanted to address it. So we're gonna give it maybe until, let's see, we've been 1 minute in. Let's give it another 2 minutes, okay? And then I'm gonna get this all out there. But this should be one piece, one small, concise statement. Okay. Seen a lot of news. I'm seeing a lot of tweets, a lot of retweets about the Ark of the Covenant and Mar-a-Lago. And it's getting to be a bit like the moon landing. It's getting to be a little bit like flat Earth. I'm really concerned. And I'm just going to go out there. I know there's going to be some people who are going to hate me for what I'm about to say. But I'm going to say it. I'm concerned. I'm concerned that we're getting gaslit. Think about this very, very seriously. Like, I'm going to pull up this page here. Here. Let me grab my Twitter account here. Unabashedly. You're just all going to see what's in my Twitter feed. Okay? Or X feed, whatever you want to call it. So let's pull it up, shall we? Let's add this to the stage. So we got some people. I do a lot of following of people in Rumble and whatnot. But I made a statement recently. Let's see how long it takes me, by the way. But I made a statement recently, which I could easily get to by just going to my profile here and pulling it up. But it probably won't take us long to just find yet another person posting it. Let's see how long. See how many scrolls of the scroll wheel. What's going on? Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay, then a watch. We're doing a review. More medical expertise being displayed. Going down here. I don't even want to watch the rest of that. Is there a lot of those? Do you guys see that a lot? Or you see something and you're like, I already know where that's going, and I don't want to see the leg break. Oh, God. Some things just don't need to be seen by everybody. Okay, maybe I'm getting proven wrong. It's not coming right up. It's been in the news cycle. It's been in the feeds on Facebook and on Twitter for the past 48 hours, though, for sure. Let's just go to the profile. I've been very busy today making a lot of notes and discoveries around different streaming platforms. But this, here we go. James Corsetti. I'm going to read it in case you didn't read it yourself. I'm saying anybody who posts these pictures and says they have a replica Ark of the Covenant at Mar-a-Lago is functionally and legitimately biblically illiterate. Let me say it again for those in the back. You are biblically illiterate if you think that's the Ark of the Covenant. I mean, most people don't know much about the Bible. I get that. That's fine. It's actually not fine. I don't know why you would even follow up that statement like that. But the blue checkmark brigade of people who want to be taken journalistically seriously reposting these pictures of someone visiting Mar-a-Lago with this image, right? With these images. Oh, look, a perfect replicant. First of all, check your grammar. And I'm not talking about the person who married your grandfather. I'm talking about use language better. Use English better. A perfect replica, maybe, of the Ark of the Covenant is what you're trying to say, I think. Replicant? A replica of the Ark, A-R-C, the Ark. It's A-R-K of the Covenant. So I don't even know whose post this is. If this is Jimmy's, dude. 2,700 hours of labor and 6 pounds of gold. Really? 6 pounds? First of all, I don't doubt that this is there. I mean, I'm not saying that. I'm saying this is a replica. It is a screen replica of the Ark of the Covenant prop used in Raiders of the Lost Ark, a fictional film. Okay? All right? Do I have to go Mr. Garrison on you? A fictional film prop. This is a replica of that prop. That prop is based off of a painting by Tissot. T-I-S-S-O-T. I don't. Tell me if I'm pronouncing that correctly or not. But this is not the or a replica of the Ark of the Covenant as described in the Bible. It comes generally close to tickling the idea. Truth is, and here's the hard facts. Here's the thing that most people have a hard time understanding. No one knows what it looks like. No one. Nobody. There are some people who claim to have seen it. And I tend to extravagantly want to believe that they saw what they claimed that they saw. Speaking of Ron Wyatt. It looks nothing. What he describes and what the scriptures describe, maybe kind of like this, but this is a replica of what was in Tissot's painting. If you don't know what I'm talking about, let's take a look at that together. Okay? Let's go. This is a topic that I do care a lot about, but I want to show you the multitude of possibilities around the Ark of the Covenant. Being that nobody had ever etched it, let's take a look at what evidence is actually out there. Let me tell you who this Tissot is, okay? Let's get that out of the way first. Because what we're seeing is not a replica of the Ark of the Covenant. And the more that someone keeps reposting it, and the more that someone keeps adding it, putting it out there that this is what it is, the more ignorant you make yourself. It's crazy making. This is driving me nuts. Let me show you. So we're going to take a look real quick. And then I'm going to shut it down. I'm just going to take a look, and if you want to comment, please comment. If you want to share, share. But I want to put some sanity into this, okay? A little bit of sanity. Well, and maybe you look at my stuff and say, well, no, this is not sanity. This is the opposite of sanity. But this is my rant. Hold on. And I have my own ideas. This is a favorite topic of mine, okay? Let me find the Tissot painting here. We're going to knock this out real quick, okay? Hey, you. I'm doing a quick rant.
Me?
Yeah, I'm just letting you know.
About what?
There's a lot of people talking about the Ark of the Covenant on
Okay.
the Titter.
Okay.
And I thought I would straighten some people out and give them some facts and make them realize what information actually is out there on a topic I have a little bit of information on. You know? So I'm looking for the Tissot painting. Please bear with me as I find it. Okay. Here we go. Right? This is a reference from, I believe this is like an actual visual reference that comes from a, like a Bible dictionary of sorts. And if you can see the name here, James Tissot, that's his illustration of what he thought the Ark of the Covenant looked like based off of his description. Now, there's some interesting imagery here. He's borrowing from Egyptian imagery, but this is an interpretation of a description in text. It doesn't date back to the days of the Ark of the Covenant. It doesn't date back to an eyewitness, and it doesn't even refer to any eyewitness imagery, okay? There are an awful lot of people with ideas of what this thing looks like. And none of them are authoritative. Okay? Many, many variants. Some people making it out of, general, HVAC grade sheet metal. Beautiful. This guy looks authentic, I realize. He's got that Jiffy Pop hairdo rocking. Cherubim is actually what we're talking about, covering cherubim. Here's some classical imagery, but here is the classical Tissot paintings. Okay? The date on Tissot's paintings, and by the way, this is the actual illustration used in the encyclopedia that is in the Raiders of the Lost Ark film, right? This is what was used as reference for the model that was made in the Ark of the in the Raiders of the Lost Ark. Let's go to James. Let's get the era in which he lived. 1836 to 1902. Not exactly a contemporary of the container that is the Ark of the Covenant, and that is spelled with a K for point of reference. He was a French painter. He's known for these for I think that painting specifically is one of the more referenced photographs, but he did a lot of biblical works. Can I get a larger version of that one? Wikipedia? Is that possible? Anyway, there's the dates on that. Then we have a lot of other influences that I think were influencing Tissot's decisions. I believe the cherubim is usually like half man, half beast. There's all kinds of these strange descriptions we see. We can go into reading the scriptures later and do a deeper dive. But I want to show you that what these Assyrian style cherubim, when Assyrians call cherubim, this is what those illustrations look like. Okay? This is an Egyptian mercy seat with cherubim on the side, flanking the seat. Okay? You see where this influence might come? More Assyrian cherubim. More Assyrian cherubim. Cherubim had more than one set of wings in the imagery. This is crap. Don't ignore that. We were looking at what it would take to make something that was representative. But there's a lot of stuff out of the Temple Institute on all the implements of the temple. This is off of a sword that Rood claims closely resembles what, I know I say Rood, I'm saying Michael Rood, claims that the Ark of the Covenant looked like, based off of a sword that came out of Spain. He says this shows cherubim and the actual scale. I went through and did the work of measuring out the actual distance based off of cubits and did the conversion and made a cardboard model. But this is the size of the Ark of the Covenant in cardboard that I made. I probably 10 years ago. And if there were human-sized cherubim, the way that Ron Wyatt described it, standing on either side looking at the mercy seat, this would have been the scale of it. It's a little bigger, if you can tell, than the Tissot painter represents. You know what I mean? It's just, and I mean, this is hyper modern. I don't see this being it. And then the rings come into question. I talk about weight and I talk about gold. We've spent a lot of time. I've actually had an artist I've been working with out of Brazil, who has a very interesting skill set in 3D art, and we spent a lot of time going through. This is actually our work wall, but Ron Wyatt described the Ark of the Covenant. I actually spoke with Ron Wyatt's colleague, who's currently running the Wyatt Archaeological Museum down in Cornersville, Texas, or Cornersville, Tennessee. Sorry, not Texas. Texas on the mind. We'll probably play that later later on. But this is the original sketch of the Ark of the Covenant that Ron described when he said he had found it. That's a much longer story. Went through and took a lot of this stuff and translated it into Portuguese for my illustrator. He wanted to know what some of these sketches and notes that were taken down by who's the artist that he was working with? Panowski, I think was the name of the guy. James Panowski was working with Ron Wyatt and took his testimony and then did these illustrations. Those are his notes. And there's a lot of people who have taken that and run with it. I've done my own variation as well. This has been for a long time the standing understanding of the Wyatt interpretation. This is one of Panowski's original airbrush pieces because it was pre-computer. You know, so, but I've even done my own. By the way, I think this is Wyatt and Panowski in his original museum. I don't know where this one was, but this isn't at the gas station that they converted in Cornersville that I visited. People going through the motions of building one out of styrofoam and wood and using PVC, which is bending egregiously. I mean, if this was actually gold and this is closer to the scale, there's no way two people on two poles could carry this thing. I assume it would take a minimum of 8 people to carry it, but we'll get actual weights. We're going to work that all up. But here's some of the renderings from my illustrator buddy in Argentina. He's done some amazing work, and we went through an entire round. By the way, this is my illustration of what I would imagined that it might look like. Some other experiments that I had worked on, tried working from photographs. There's some photographs that Ron Wyatt said he took of the Ark of the Covenant. But those who know this, those who know about the knowledge that is out there, that's obtainable about the Ark of the Covenant, knows when they see that image. They know when they see this. When they see this, that it is not anything more than a replica of the Ark of the Covenant that was used in the Raiders of the Lost Ark film, which was based off of a series of paintings and illustrations done by James Tissot, early 19th century. That's all the authority it has. At best, it's a replica of a film prop. Maybe we'll watch him pull it out. We'll watch the film prop. It's funny. There's pull it out of the stone at the beginning of the film. I can pull that up. But there's that moment, right, where you see all these people posting it. And look, he has a replica of the Ark of the Covenant at Mar-a-Lago. We are living in a time of spiritual warfare and trauma. Dude, stop. Just stop. If I could get a replica, I would have a replica on display. It's cool. But for you to go up next to it and go, oh, the Ark of the Covenant. It's a movie prop. It's a movie prop based off of an old painting. All right, that's it. Sorry. I'll get back into it. And then we'll close this out. But there's a lot of research, a lot of unpacking, a lot of things that I've also been working on with different illustrations and trying to bring them into a modern light. I love this one. This was much more Egyptian, and these guys were in Egypt. I mean, there's a lot of very interesting interpretations, but all of them are interpretations because nobody's seen it. I think Ron did, but that goes to the grave with him, and it'll be revealed in due time. I hope it looks like that. That would be really cool. It would mean that my guesses were better than other people's, but it's a guess. It's an educated guess. It's a guess. And then we've thought about like the mechanics of it and what it would take to actually make sure this thing doesn't slip off, and that the weight of the gold doesn't just tear the rings off. Do rings mean rings the way that we've traditionally seen it, like key rings, like a ring that you would mount with some kind of, like it would be swinging loose. There's no evidence of that. Matter of fact, as an engineering mind and somebody who's dealt with large, heavy wooden boxes working in pattern shops, I would assume that it's something much more integrated, something much more solid, and we've explored that as well. By the way, the closest thing that comes to references are these coins. This being the Ark of the Covenant is what they say this engraving is. I'll give you guys a closer look at that. But that's the only possible imagery that actually exists that actually could share the same timeline as the physical object. I'm not even sure that one is accurate. You know, the frieze of the Arch of Titus in Rome shows them taking all the implements of the temple out, and none of those show the Ark of the Covenant. That's why we know this is accurate to the golden menorah that the Jews have had recreated. And I believe this is actually in Rome, the original. It's been carried out there and never been pulled out. There's the better photograph of that frieze, which used to be painted, I believe, at one point. More of the Egyptian style split wings. We consider this this is more of a covering cherub. I think this is probably more accurate. There's another ark. Arks were common in Egyptian culture. So for Yahovah to say, you're going to make one for me now, and it's going to be different from the others, I think it'd have to probably play to the sensibilities of the Hebrew culture, not the Egyptian culture, but using the same tradesmen, right? Well, it does say that Bezalel was given ability that he did not have prior. More people's illustrations on this. Anyway, that's my rant. This is what the Temple Institute think it looks like. I don't know what that is. That doesn't even come close to anything. Matter of fact, they'll probably end up making a brand new one because they won't know where the original is until it is revealed. And I believe it will be revealed. But until then, we've got very vague stained artwork, stained glass artwork. I don't think that the cherubim were on the lid. They were part of the lid. They weren't on the lid. There's so many people who have translated it to upon, and it's just not. So anyway, this is my crazy ass long piece of research, going in through the testimony of Exodus 25. But like I said, I took Exodus 25, got a tape measure, got some cardboard, made myself a version of it in my living room, and this is the scale. It's a little bigger than that box. A little bigger than that. So, anyway, that's all I got to share. Hopefully this straightens someone out. Maybe gives them a reason to pause and consider a little further. Here's the photograph that Ron White says is of the ark that did not come out correctly. It's an awesome story. I want to believe that too, but that doesn't mean that it makes it truth. Wanting to believe does not make it, is not the qualifier. But we do the best we can. And we need to know what it is we're talking about when we talk about it, or we end up making ourselves and everybody else representing truth look like fools. It's time to stop being fools, guys. Anyway, rant over. That's all I got. I'm going to go hang out with my wife now. You guys enjoy yourself. Short video. That's it. That's all you get. 26 minutes. Still 5 times longer than it should have been. We'll spend more time on it later. If you ask for it, we'll do it. Take care, guys. See ya.